What is sag? Sag is how much your suspension compresses when you sit on your bike in your regular riding position. Find your 4-digit product ID codes on your fork and rear shock to enter at ridefox.com/ownermanuals to get additional information about setting up your suspension and sag. Before setting sag, turn your compression adjustments to their full open position. You'll get the most accurate results by starting in your regular riding position with your helmet, hydration, and standard ride essentials carried as you would on a ride. Hold the front brake. Do not hold the rear brake. Mount the bike, then slightly bounce up and down to break the stiction. Once your bike has settled and is done bouncing, push your sag indicator O-rings against the dust wipers. This will show us how deep into the travel you are sagging once you dismount the bike. Be very careful while dismounting the bike. You do not want to move the O-rings during this process. Ensure that you are using approximately 25% of available suspension travel as sag in the rear and approximately 15% of available suspension travel as sag on the front fork. Attach a Fox high-pressure pump to your suspension to make adjustments as needed. Push on your suspension to ensure equalization during this procedure. Now that sag is set, you can set rebound damping. Rebound is directly related to your air spring pressure and needs to be adjusted after setting sag. The rebound adjuster for the fork may be found under the black protective cover on some models. The rebound adjuster for the rear shock is located on the shock eyelet. Turning the red rebound knob clockwise slows rebound damping, while turning it counterclockwise speeds up rebound damping. You generally want your rebound damping set so the suspension returns quickly enough to prepare for the next bump on the trail, without being so fast that it wants to lift you up beyond your sag point. A simple way to check the rebound on your fork is to compress the fork by pushing the handlebars down with open palms and watching how fast the fork returns after compression. If you see the tires leave the ground, the rebound damping is set too fast. If the rebound damping is set too slow, it can cause what's known as packing down. This doesn't allow the suspension to return fast enough to prepare for the next bump. When setting sag on a coil shock, the first thing you need to know is the shock's travel. There's 2 ways to find out. First, go to ridefox.com/ownermanuals and enter the shock code. The second way is to measure your exposed shaft length. Once you know your shock's travel, measure the uncompressed shock length from eye to eye. Now, mount the bike, and while in your regular riding position, measure the compressed shock length eye to eye. Ensure that you are using approximately 25% of available suspension travel. If you sag too much, then turn the preload collar clockwise 1 turn. If you require more than 2 full turns, then it's time to go up a spring rate. If it's too firm and you need more sag, then turn the preload collar counterclockwise, but don't go so far that your spring becomes loose. Now that your suspension is set up, it's time to hit the trails.